Enzio.
Yes,
Well, I'm going to have to get up next to you because this thing doesn't have very much of a range here. But let's show us what's going on here. I see little boxes. I see a tiny mouse.
Well, there's a multitude of new technology here, and just going by the table here, this is the smallest, one of the most powerful computers in the world. It's called our microcomputer. This is the mini computer, very powerful computer. It works in conjunction potentially with this larger box, which we call the Enzo box. This is our scanner, which you can scan any document, and we could store it on a card and bring it over to your computer and have it and have your data stored. Universal remote with keyboard, mouse.
That's a big one.
Yeah, this is definitely it's a man's. It's made for men.
Men who watch TV.
I'll tell you why you want this.
Okay, what do we want exactly?
Only one thing, the reason why you want this thing? Okay, here we go. Basic looking universal remote control, okay? Our system has a built-in voice over IP telephone. So your phone rings, you get the caller ID on the display. You've probably seen that some cable companies, right? You see who's calling. Caller ID comes on this display as well. You decide to answer it. Hello, how you doing? This works great. In addition, we can also pair it with up to 4 cell phones. So when your cell phone is sitting over on the kitchen counter ringing, you can see your cell phone's ringing, you can see who's calling, and you can pick up your cell phone as long as you're within 50 feet of it and make the call. Now, of course, if you're a teenager, you could actually even put a pin on your cell phone so no one can answer it from the remote unless they put the pin in first.
So for the multi-phone house. And so now this is quite small. What kind of specs have we got in this little thing? Is this like mini ITX or something like that? What's going on in there?
That's actually a custom. It's actually a custom. The entire CPU and system is on a board. It's basically it's an SoC on a board. It's 1 gigahertz with 1 gig of RAM. It's got a dedicated video processor in it specifically just for sending video out. It's not exactly the greatest all-around computer. It's more of a slave to one of our larger systems, which can basically do a lot more storing and obviously it's more DVR recording, things like that. This is more of a one-trick pony, if you will, for the back of a small TV up in the guest bedroom that no one ever stays in.
Cool. And and this would be the big box that is slaving these other fellows. Is that the idea?
Correct. It could act as a slave or as a standalone. It has a built-in free-to-air satellite tuner, as well as a digital ClearQuam tuner and a digital over-the-air tuner.
So you've got like this guy is sitting in the closet, this guy is sitting next to your TV, and you're pushing the signal from this to that, or
even buckled onto the back of your TV. And then we got one guy right here, which is not sitting on the table because we basically, just as I was getting on the plane, we were making the first prototype of the main board. This thing right here is called the Flex Router. Think of a consumer router that is actual self-healing firmware, which knows how to restart itself when it needs to be restarted, because they all do. It's multiple WANs, so it can actually take up to 3 WANs, whether those WANs be like a DSL, cable modem, DSS. It also has a USB port for 3G or 4G or WiMAX type functionality. Muxes those signals together, which makes it kind of a cool piece altogether. But in addition, on top of that, it is a 4-tuner card built into it and becomes a video server. You can actually mount this thing in your attic, run the wires from your attic to your satellite antenna, and have the transport streams available via IP to any of our devices on your network. No more running wires from your satellite to each individual box. It would literally be wireless. And now, to top that all off, because of the fact that we're actually encapsulating it via IP, if you're missing your football game in England, but you're over here in the United States doing some business, you can actually take one of those streams and just send it out on the WAN instead of on the LAN and actually pick up your game and watch it live sitting in your hotel room, as long as you have our software on your laptop.
And if you order now, well, I don't know. This is some pretty complicated home theater type stuff. There's a lot of I can picture somebody wiring up their house like crazy and being like, all right, I've got this one for the downstairs TV, and then this is going in the attic. And
the thing that we try to focus on is wireless. Almost everything is wireless. Wireless intercommunication. We try to, besides the fact that we also actually are making some integrated televisions that have the whole system built into them, But as far as even one of these boxes is concerned, you should be able to plug the box in, get a wireless internet connection, and run one wire over to your TV, and you should be done. If you add a flex router, it should just be recognizing the flex router and wirelessly receiving its signal. If you add one of these little slaves, once again, they should wirelessly receive the main box. We're trying to cut back on wires because, less and less people like running wires. I know. I ran wires for 8 years. It was no fun.
Well, this all looks pretty impressive. We're gonna have to I'm gonna take one of these, and we're gonna get the specs, and we'll make a post and do some comparisons and stuff like that. All right?
You have a card or something?
I don't have any cards. I almost couldn't come into the show because I didn't have any cards. But please give me a card.
My card, Devin.
Is it here? Did you like put it into? Oh, there it is. It's stapled to the thing. I thought maybe there was some sleight of hand going on here. Okay, it's a wireless. There, I see no wires here. Do you see any wires? All right. Thanks, guys. We are going out to the outside. I think we've got one more.